Madara was first introduced in chapter 232 during Naruto and Sasuke's first fight in the Final Valley, as a statue. Then he became the main villain of Naruto Shippuden, and although Obito was masquerading as Madara for most of the series, and Madara actually appeared as an Edo Tensei for the first bit of the Fourth Great Ninja War, he left a mark on the Naruto universe unlike any other villain except Obito and Pain. His introduction in the war arc against the 4th Division is honestly one of my favorite episodes and chapters of the entire series. But before we get there, I want to walk through Madara's entire life and who he really was as a person. We get a brief glimpse into Madara's childhood and early life through Hashirama's memories after he is revived alongside the first 4 Hokage during the war arc by Orochimaru. Madara was born during the Warring States period, possibly the most violent and bloody time in its history. During this time, the 2 most powerful clans were the Senju and the Uchiha. They were locked in endless conflict, each deeply resenting the other, until Hashirama and Madara met as children. In Hashirama's memories, we see that Madara was initially a very kind and caring person. He loved no one more than his 4 younger brothers, 3 of whom had already been killed by members of the Senju clan. Madara was left with only one brother, Izuna Uchiha. After knowing each other for a long time, Hashirama and Madara began talking about their shared dream to end the Warring States period, a dream of building a village where children wouldn't have to die. Since Madara's only goal was to protect Izuna, he believed that if such a place existed, he could keep his brother safe. Eventually, they learned of each other's clans and many years later became the leaders of their respective groups. After discovering their lineages, they repeatedly met in battle well into adulthood. During one particularly tragic battle, Tobirama killed Madara's last brother. The one person he had sworn to protect with everything was slain by his best friend's brother. As Izuna was dying, he gave his eyes to Madara, granting him the eternal Mangekyo Sharingan. Izuna's death sent Madara spiraling into darkness. Overcome with pain, he wanted to fight Hashirama again, but lost. Hashirama pleaded with Madara to work alongside him again as they still shared the same dream. But Madara, consumed by pain and despair, hesitated to trust him. He believed people could never truly know what was in each other's hearts. He told Hashirama to kill Tobirama, his own brother, so he could also understand the pain. Hashirama couldn't do it and instead offered to kill himself if it meant ending the fighting between their clans. As Hashirama was about to stab himself, Madara told him that the willingness alone was enough. The 2 then founded the Hidden Leaf Village, an alliance between the Uchiha, Senju, Hyuga, and Sarutobi, and even the Uzumaki clans. Madara named the Hidden Leaf Village. It was meant to be the foundation of their dream, a world where children wouldn't have to fight and die, and where people could understand each other. Hashirama wanted Madara to be the first Hokage, but the Uchiha and Senju clans believed Hashirama was better suited to lead the village. Madara had lost the faith of his own clan. He eventually read the Uchiha stone tablet written by the Sage of the Six Paths, passed down through Indra's bloodline. At some point, Black Zetsu tampered with the tablet, manipulating it to revive his mother, Kaguya, and launch the Infinite Tsukuyomi. Though Madara had helped build the Hidden Leaf Village, his grief over Izuna made him the perfect target for Black Zetsu's manipulation. He saw the manipulated tablet and interpreted the Infinite Tsukuyomi as the path to true peace. He left the Hidden Leaf fully intent on fulfilling his Infinite Tsukuyomi plan. After leaving, he captured the Nine Tails, putting it under his control, and then challenged Hashirama again, then lost. The battle lasted a long time, but Hashirama was ultimately victorious. Hashirama believed that he had killed his best friend, but Madara had used Izanagi just before his defeat. He also bit off a piece of Hashirama's flesh and swallowed it. Madara then went to his hideout, grafted the flesh into himself, and spent the rest of his life there until awakening the Rinnegan. He summoned the Gedo statue to prolong his life and eventually gave his original eyes to Nagato as a baby. He would eventually choose Obito to help fulfill Project Tsukinome and ensure Nagato revived him with Rinne Tensei. Many years passed after this point, and Obito triggered the Fourth Great Ninja War, where Madara is revived in the middle of it. And I think we all remember the first time we saw Madara fight the Shinobi Alliance, episode 322 of Naruto. The real Madara Madara is reanimated and displays the most overwhelming power ever seen in the Naruto universe at the time. He absolutely demolishes the 4th division, 2 Kage, and Naruto, all without breaking a sweat. He kills countless shinobi and summons a meteor. And the Kage don't really do much once they unite either. They hold their own at first, but the moment Madara busts out those wood clones and asks the 5 Kage,
"Would you prefer for all of these clones to use Susanoo against you or not? The choice is yours."
That was pure cinema. After Obito's identity is revealed and Madara defeats the Kage, we get more insight into his ideology. The first thing I want to highlight is Madara's insistence on relying only on his own power. Even as a child, he hated people standing behind him. It was shown as a funny gag, but it really reflected something deeper about him. He hated people standing behind him, both physically and emotionally. He despised help and never allowed anyone else to carry the slack when he couldn't. Madara and Hashirama shared the same dream, but their views on how to achieve it differed greatly. Hashirama believed in the will of fire and trusting the next generations to carry on. Madara believed only he could save the world. It had to be him. This almost toxic independence was at the core of who Madara was, emotionally and spiritually. As one of Indra's reincarnates, he valued his own strength above all else. Yes, Madara had Nagato and Obito as part of his plan, but that wasn't the same as truly entrusting them with his dream. Hashirama died accepting that his time was over, praying the next generations wouldn't repeat the same mistakes. Madara's trust was all about bringing himself back to life so that he could carry out his dream, the infinite Tsukuyomi. Hashirama sought peace through love, Madara sought peace through manipulation. That's another fascinating aspect of Madara, his manipulation of everyone and even history itself. In the war arc, he reveals that the circumstances behind Rin's death, the events that shaped Obito, were all orchestrated by him. He manipulated the Hidden Mist village to make her the Three Tails Jinchuriki, forcing her to commit suicide. He's comfortable with manipulation because it lets him wield power he believes only he deserves. Madara's desperate need for control without trust also disrupted the reincarnation cycle of Indra and Ashura. He unnaturally prolonged his life using the statue's power. He paused the reincarnation cycle of the two brothers, simply because he wanted to control it all. And he always saw himself as the enlightened one, the one who could break the world out of the cycle of hatred. Madara thought he was the one to save the world, but in trying to escape the suffering of the shinobi world, he fell deeper into illusion. This is where Naruto's spiritual influence is key. In Buddhism and Hinduism, samsara is the endless cycle of birth, death, suffering, and rebirth. Trapped in desire, pain, hatred, and ignorance, only through enlightenment can one escape. Madara believed that the infinite Tsukuyomi could break samsara, that he could force enlightenment. But true enlightenment can't be forced. It requires compassion, suffering, and growth, the very things Madara tried to erase. Ironically, Madara was arguably the furthest from enlightenment. Even with the Rinnegan, the Samsara Eye itself, even with the Rinne Sharingan, the third eye representing spiritual awakening, he was still blind. He was like a man with 20/20 vision walking into a glass door. The more he sought control, the more he was bound by samsara. His desire to dominate and reject trust was exactly what trapped him. He clung so tightly to pain and desire that he became the very cycle he sought to destroy. And then, the betrayal of Black Zetsu and Kaguya happened. Kaguya's arrival felt jarring, not just to the plot, but thematically. She wasn't just an alien in concept, she was alien to the plot itself. Until then, Madara was the culmination of Naruto's core philosophies, the cycle of hatred, the power of love and trust, and the dangers of escapism, and the spiritual cost of trying to control destiny. Then suddenly Kaguya appears. Kaguya's presence felt like it broke the story, but I feel like she was an excellent natural evolution for what Madara's philosophy was. Earlier in the war arc, the Sage of the Six Paths literally said that Madara was going to become exactly what his mother Kaguya had become, and that time had come. He literally became Kaguya, but maybe that's the point. She was the extreme of what Madara's ideology was. ruling through power alone, rejecting love, and rejecting trusting others. She ruled through her power and rejected all forms of compassion. The man who thought he was a god being cast aside so easily is the final lesson. The moment you stop trusting and the moment you try to force reality into your ideals, you become vulnerable. But even at his end, Madara is given a moment of humanity. When he sees Hashirama one last time, he's not the god of war, he's not the mastermind, he's just Madara, a boy who wanted peace, a brother who wanted to protect his own, and a friend who lost his way. And he admits that he still shares the same dream Hashirama did, but he doesn't agree with Hashirama's methods. This moment hits because it's not loud, it's not flashy, it's quiet. Just two friends, tired, old, broken, and bruised, sitting beside each other one last time. Hashirama doesn't dismiss Madara, he doesn't judge him, he just offers him a drink like old war buddies. Because after all this, Hashirama still sees Madara as his best friend. The tragedy of Madara's story is that he believed he had to bear the burden of saving the world alone. He couldn't trust anyone else, he couldn't let go, and that's why he fell.